Good evening, everyone. Papa Boris here with another Faster Than Light playthrough. This time on normal difficulty, I'm going to play through with the Torus. This is a favorite of a lot of FTL players, and in this playthrough I'd like to show you why. It's a really strong ship, very solid and very consistent, but in the beginning, when you first play with it, it doesn't necessarily seem all that great. I know that when I first tried it, it seemed really terrible. So if you just want to beat the game on normal and have pretty consistent luck doing so, but haven't yet been enamored with this ship, hopefully this playthrough will show you a few tips and tricks. Let's get into it. Alright, now as before, let me make a quick mention. When you play the game, make sure you go to Options and select number 6 to be enabled. Show beacon paths on hover. This makes it so that when you hover over a beacon path, it shows you with dotted lines which beacons touch it, because you don't want to be guessing when you're trying to maximize the number of jumps that you're making in a different sector. Now here the exit's kind of in a weird spot. There's a lot of nebula around it. The thing with nebulas at the end of a sector is you want to make sure that you try to pick up as many white beacons as possible before jumping into the nebula, because the nebulas in regular sectors really slow the pursuing fleet down a lot, and you want to make sure you have covered as much ground before you get to them. Anyway, when the game starts, make sure you don't forget to assign your people to their positions. Let's go ahead and leave 2 bars open for our anti-ship drone. I like to put the human on the engines. That way, if there's an invasion, he can walk around to fight. You don't really want your Engi to be doing all the fighting, since they suck at it, without losing all the evasion from the ship. If you put the human on the pilot, anytime he moves, the evasion drops to 0. And then the other Engi I put on the weapons. Now, I like to put the Engi on the weapons simply because in the early game, if your weapon gets damaged, you are really screwed, and you want that to be fixed as fast as possible, so that's where I want the Engi double repair speed. Now, the reason this ship is so great is this ion blast that you start with. It can take down 4 shields all by itself. So all this ship really needs to do well is good defense, in the form of shields and evasion, and hopefully at some point a defense Mark 1 drone, and pretty much any weapon that deals damage. Beams are fun, the high mark, like the heavy laser Mark 2 is a lot of fun, but really anything that does damage is fine, because like I said, this ion blast can just take down arbitrary numbers of shields. Alright, let's jump around. Go ahead and make some jumps here. Alright, so here we go. We got a nice fight. What I recommend is that when you play with this cruiser, you turn on Autofire. This is a pretty dangerous feature normally, but I recommend it because this thing has Ion Blast Mark II has a cooldown of like 4 seconds, and it's really annoying to have to constantly click to shoot. For target selection, it doesn't really matter here because this anti-ship is drone is absolutely gonna wreck the scout that has no shields. I'll just point it at the pilot so that its evasion drops and my drone is more likely to hit. I'll go ahead and shoot the weapons down a little bit so that their lasers don't do too much damage. Perhaps it was a mistake. Maybe I should have just been shooting at the weapons the whole time. Whatever. Alright, easy peasy. Investigate the station. Wow! Okay. So this is pretty much the absolute luckiest thing that can possibly happen, is finding a defense drone Mark 1. Because it's a real working horse, this drone. It, takes down missiles. One thing that's interesting to note is that because the shape of this ship is so compact, I found in my experience, and don't bet your life on it or anything, but in my experience I found that defense drones with the Torus do a better job shooting down missiles than the defense drones of longer ships do. Sometimes if a ship is long and your defense drone happens to be orbiting to the left, a missile will hit a protruding part of the ship to the right. So it doesn't seem to happen as much with this ship. But yeah, so normally I would be jumping to every store I could looking for a defense drone, but since we just happened to find one, that is incredible luck, and this should be a pretty easy playthrough from here. Alright, surrender of their goods, yay. Okay. They're running to escape. Fine. Okay, when you have a ship that's got weapons that can damage you, so this is a double shot laser and a beam, and they will be in sync for the first couple of shots, what you want to do is fire 1 shot at the shields to bring that down, and then switch over to the weapon for a shot to at least minimize some of the damage. Then bring it back to the shields, otherwise it will Otherwise the shield will come back. And keep an eye on this weapon, so when it comes back, I'll shoot the weapons again to disable them. Looks like the weapons got hit by the drone, so now all the weapons are down, and I'll just move the cursor back to the shields to keep those down. The ion will last long enough for the drone to finish off this ship. Alright, easy peasy. Let's repair the med bay here. And we'll be off. Now, this is a very lucky run. So this hull repair drone, some people say it's really great. I don't know. I just always would rather sell it for the 50 scrap it sells for. So we got 50 scrap in our back pockets here, so that'll be nice when we hit up a store. But again, I'm going to keep going through these white beacons pretty slowly just because the nebula is so slow. I want to hit as many white beacons as possible before I get there. I'm not particularly trying to find a store right now because we've got this defense drone, and that's just so amazing. I want to make jumps and get scrap, not buy things, because there's nothing really that I want to buy at the moment. Alright, now again, launch your drone, don't forget that. Shoot one shot at the shield, and then one shot at their weapons. Just do a quick alternation in the beginning of the fight, because again, there's a laser here, and the laser is in sync with the beam. The beams, this little mini beam's cooldown is just a little bit longer than the defense drone, and than the lasers. So it will fire right after the laser fires, and take out a shield just long enough for the beam to do some damage. So that's pretty much it for micro as far as this ship is concerned. You can just alternate between the shields and the weapons, and if the battle is won, then you can just go ahead and leave the auto-fire on to keep the shields down. Alright, easy peasy, double reward, great. I'm just going to go ahead and get a power bar and 2 shields, because 2 shields is very strong in the early sector, and now the rest of these fights should be really easy. Again, I'm not looking for a store. I've got everything I need. I had a really, really lucky start. So I'm just trying to get to as many white jumps as possible before plunging into that nebula and getting even more jumps. Alright, now this ship, it's going to be pretty easy. This laser can't get through my shields, of course, so we can just turn on auto-fire and sit back and watch as our drone kills the ship while we keep the shields down. If you want to get fancy, you can alternate between the shield and the autopilot. It looks like this ship has pretty good evasion. The drone was missing a lot, but whatever. With only one laser, that ship isn't going to do anything to me. So I'll just sit back, take a sip of water, and wait for that ship to blow up. Powering up its FTL. So quick note, as long as the engine or the pilot is down, the ship can't fly away. And these drones, they shoot pretty fast compared to like most weapons, so you don't really have to worry about those warnings too much if you've got their shields down. 18 scrap, yay! Okay. Take a look. Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna get another power bar so everything's all powered up. Hopefully we'll find a weapon. It's not until around like the 2nd or 3rd sector, if we haven't found a weapon yet, that I'll start to get worried and actively start looking for stores to get weapons from. This is a real bread and butter type of ship. All you need to do is just get your shields up, your engines up, some weapons. You don't need a teleporter, you don't need cloak, you don't need any of that stuff. Just, nice and straightforward. Okay, so here we've come up against a missile launcher. This takes a little bit of micro. When the missile fires, depower your anti-ship drone and power up your defense drone. And then you can unpower the defense drone and power the anti-ship drone back up. As I've mentioned before, if you switch between the 2 drones, you do not have to expend a drone part every time. So it did cost us 2 drone parts to do this fight, but spending a drone is better than taking damage and prolonging the fight. Alright, map has been updated, whatever. Alright, can't get to that store anyway. Alright. This is an ion storm. They're very annoying to fight in with this ship because you really do need all your power. So I'll just avoid that. Attack the slaver scum. Alright, hopefully we'll get a crew member out of this one. Alright, let's see if we can disable that missile launcher before it fires. Nope. Alright, whatever. We'll spend a drone part. If we find a store, we'll buy some drone parts from there. We should have enough scrap to do so. No biggie. Fun fact about the Torus cruiser, if you come up against a ship that can't beat you, you can keep your ion pointed at their oxygen and get the victory through suffocation or asphyxiation achievement. So if you've been wondering how that achievement is gotten, the ion blast by itself is pretty much all you need. And of course a ship that's not trying to fly away and that cannot get through your defenses. Alright, we picked up a Rockman from that fight. That's great. I'm not going to get a teleporter most likely. This ship really doesn't need it. But it's nice to know we've got that in our back pocket if we need it. Regardless, the Rockman is great to have because it unlocks some special blue events. Alright, let's keep our Ion Blast focused on the weapons, although they can't get through the 2 shields, so I don't know why I'm bothering to do that. Yeah, the pilot's fine. This is a very easy fight. Very quick, too. If you think about it, these drones fire much faster than a weapon does, so that went down much faster than if we'd been shooting it to death with conventional weaponry. Let's fly on to this nebula, I suppose. Oh, too bad we don't have advanced sensors. Alright, so... By the way, this event here, this ship with the unknown weapon, don't buy the unknown weapon. Not only is it a random weapon and likely to be a piece of crap, it is frequently a trap. You lose your 65 scrap, and even if you like kill their crew and take the ship intact, you don't get that 65 scrap back, so don't do it. Alright, the missile fired. I am kind of running low on drone parts though, so I'm just going to go ahead and take the hit. And of course he hits me in the weapons. Ugh. Okay, so that'll slow the fight down a little bit. When you get hit in the weapons, go ahead and pull your other Engi off the pilot so you can get that ion blast back as quickly as possible. Hopefully this shot won't hit us in the weapons. And it hits us in the weapons. Alright, well, this has been a striking illustration of why it's worth it to spend a defense drone to not take missile hits. Alright, is this one going to hit us in the weapons? No, it hits us in the engine. So we've just taken a cool 6 hull damage from those weapon shots. Alright, hopefully we can use the Ion Blast to keep those weapons down, just alternating between the shield and the weapons. Alright, there we go. One nice thing about the Engi Cruiser is you don't have to do any kind of cleanup at the end of a battle, healing up your crew. You can just turn on the med bay, and then with this augmentation, the bot dispersal, people will gradually heal up as you continue on about your business. That's pretty nice. I'm not going to take anyone to the med bay. We'll just plunge on ahead. Nothing. And let's see, this is going to be close, but I think I can get one more jump out of this. This quest, I believe, is a stupid one where you just fight a mantis ship or do nothing. Alright, that's awesome. Alright, so got a little bit hairy towards the end there. Took some damage I didn't need to take, but otherwise this has been a great start. Got a defense drone, which is exactly what you want with this ship. Usually you'll have to like check every store you can find until you get lucky enough to find it in a store and buy it for 50 scrap. And the hull repair sells for 50 scrap, so we've got a lot of scrap. All we need now is a weapon, and we'll be all set. Alright, this choice, I'm not going to go down to number 2, because if you look down the second path, eventually you have to take a nebula. And nebulas are great, they really are, but in this playthrough, in the interest of time, I'll avoid the nebula because there's more jumps and that means more time. Okay, here I am looking for a store. It would be nice to sell off that hull repair drone and get a weapon. When you look for a store, try to jump out as much as you can so you can touch as many beacons as possible. You'll notice in that map, I'll show you when we see it again. Oh, don't have enough power. Let's turn the oxygen off for a little bit. You'll notice that the exit was touching a lot of nodes, and when the exit touches a lot of nodes, you can pretty safely jump forward and know that you'll still get the maximum number of jumps before leaving the sector. So this fight was easy. We just kept the weapons locked down because the scout didn't have any shields. That's awesome. Alright, investigate the station, nothing useful. Alright, so once everyone's back up to 100 health, let's go ahead and turn the med bay off, turn the oxygen back on, and see what we can do. Alright, so the store, I'm just going to go ahead and jump straight to the store, because with 120 scrap, 70 plus selling off the hull repair drone for 50, it's pretty unlikely I'm going to need more than 120 to buy anything. Let's see what we have for sale. Alright, so we got some interesting stuff here. The long-range scanners are nice. The stealth weapons are okay, but I'm not even sure I'm going to buy a cloak with this ship. with maximum shields and engines and a good weapon, you don't necessarily even need a cloak, but the automated reloader is great. It might seem like it's not, because hey, that Ion Blast already has a 4-second cooldown, but whatever weapon you end up choosing to use, having that fire faster once the enemy shields are down can be pretty nice, and 40 scrap is a real steal. So I'm just going to buy it. Let me also get a couple of drone parts while I'm at it here, just to make sure I don't run out, because I am kind of slow finding a weapon, and fix up a few bits of hull. It may seem kind of superfluous, but honestly, you know, nothing's worse than being in the red and wishing you'd spent the scrap earlier to repair it when you had the chance. Let's see the distress signal. There's a lot that we can tackle. Alright, let's repair that targeting system, get some free scrap, hooray, and jump ahead. I'm still kind of looking for stores. It would be nice to find a weapon. Alright, this is a really wussy-ass ship. That laser is certainly not getting through one shield, let alone two. So again, you can just put your Ion Blast on Autofire on their shields and wait for the fireworks to end. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Alright, their shields are down. Let's go ahead and turn off their engines so that our shots hit more often. And if you're wondering, those ion shots do stack. That's how come the one Ion Blast is able to take out so many shields. Alright, great. Here's another store. I forgot to sell my hull repair last time, so I'll be able to sell it this time. If there's a nice weapon here, we'll be able to buy it. Alright, and here we go. So this is a very interesting moment, because you can make a lot of mistakes here trying to like get these crew members, which are very sexy, and you know, trying to use the teleporter stuff. Really unnecessary. No need to do that for this ship. Let's go ahead and sell off that hull repair and get the heavy laser Mark II. This is perfect. This is exactly what we want. Now, in case you were wondering, the small bomb, it's great for 1 power, but I'd honestly rather get the ion bomb, because this only does 2 damage, and that's pretty weak. The reason that 2 damage sucks is that the final boss battle, 2 damage is not enough to take out any of the weapons, and it only removes 1 shield. Whereas the ion bomb dealing 4 ion damage, granted it's temporary, can take out pretty much anything on that ship. So I don't really want the small bomb, but the heavy laser is great, and forget these crew members, we'll be fine. Now with 20 scrap, I am going to go ahead and get the blast doors. This makes it a lot easier to deal with invasions, and that rock crew member definitely helps as well. Alright, so at this point, the only priority I really have is just upgrade weapons, upgrade shields, upgrade engines. It's a pretty smooth ride now that we've got everything we need in just the second sector, I believe. Got very lucky here, finding the defense drone, a weapon, and a crew member. Now, don't sell drone parts. You need them, so I'm going to ignore this station. Alright, the exit's touching a lot of spaces, so that's why we can be pretty liberal here with our jumps. Let's go ahead and pick up that beacon back there before we jump forward. Don't really want to find any stores anymore. Alright, nothing there. Okay, so this is a bit of a risky one. If you board the station, you might lose a crew member, which sometimes is worth the risk. Personally, here, I'd rather not lose any crew. Even the promise of an extra crew member is not at this moment worth losing one. So let's just scrap it and get some scrap. Alright, take a look at the weapons. We're going to need 35, then 50, then 75 before we can start using that laser. So that's, you know, 160 scrap. So I'll go ahead and start saving up and not get anything more at this moment. Alright, we got a sun. That's fine. We have a Zoltan shield. That's fine. Ions do double damage against Zoltan shields, so we pretty much have the best ship for dealing with this crap. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and switch to the weapons. Maybe I can depower that big old laser before it fires. Nope. No such luck. Alright, where are the fires? So there's one here, which we can just open the doors to get rid of. And Engi, it seems like their repair speed increase is good for fires as well. So that fire was no big deal. Let's go ahead and close up all the doors. Alright, their weapons seem to be good and down. Let's keep the shield down. And let the drone finish things off. There we go. Okay. It is, of course, important that we repair our oxygen. So let's do that. And I'm going to go ahead and jump... Oh, I think it happened. Yeah. Yeah, the solar flare happened. That's unfortunate. but it's only up there, no biggie. Let's turn the med bay on so that my poor pilot can heal from putting out those flames. See, I think we can make one more jump. So yeah, we'll do a jump over there, and that'll be it for this sector. We will never surrender one of our crew to slavers! Alright, again, always take a look at the enemy ship's weapons. These two lasers are actually not going to get through my shields. Those are single-shot lasers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shoot their shields down a few times and switch it over to the heavy laser to save on drone parts. I don't think I didn't shoot it enough time to keep the shields down, but the heavy laser does fire twice, so it can take out a single shield. While it's on auto fire, let me talk a little bit about this weapon. So it fires 2 lasers which do 2 damage each. Now normally this is a really terrible weapon because, you know, the fact that the lasers do 2 damage doesn't really help when you're fighting against shields very much, since each laser still only takes out 1 shield. But it's really, really great for the Torus because you've got the ion blast keeping their shields down, so the lasers which do 2 damage a pop are really stupendous. Alright, we got a crew member from that fight. At this point, it's worth it to think, you know, who do I want to be my wanderer? Who do I want not posted at a station? And there's pluses and minuses. If you put the Engi on the engine, the human can wander around, which is better for fighting, but if you have the Engi wandering, it's better for repairing. It's a tight call. Either way, probably, if there's fighting, I don't mind pulling my guy off the engine to go do the fighting, or the guy off the shield, so I'll just have the newcomer be the wanderer. And I'm going to do a little trick here. I'm just going to go ahead and buy another bar of weapon control, even though I'm kind of far from using it. The reason is, I don't actually need the scrap for anything else at the moment, and if I happen to get hit in the weapons with a stray laser, it's nice not to have my weapon get depowered. You know, that extra bar will just get damaged, and then I won't care because the ion blast will still be operating. I've done that a lot, and it really saves a lot of time. Like when a laser gets in there and deals damage and your weapon can still keep firing, that is really great. Alright, here I'm going to trade 3 missiles for 3 drone parts because I don't need missiles, like, ever, until the end. Alright, this is an interesting choice. Rock or Mantis. Mantis homeworlds tend to have a lot of ships that board you. So when you're deciding whether or not to go to the Mantis homeworlds, you want to look at your crew and see, like, do I want to be boarded? And I really would rather not. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to the rock-controlled sector. After the rock-controlled sector, which is this top one in the 3rd row, I'll still be able to jump to a nice non-nebula sector and keep the playthrough going quickly. If I were forced to jump into a nebula afterwards, I would have sucked it up and gone to the Mantis sector. Alright, this store is not worth jumping back for. I can't sell anything. I don't have anything I want to buy. Remember that whenever you jump to a store, you are not jumping to some other beacon where you can have a fight and get scrap. So don't make that decision lightly. Oftentimes jumping to the stores is not the best play. Alright, here, you know, the heavy laser, which fires 2 shots, can take down the enemy ship by itself, but always assess how well armed they are before making that call. You can see here it's got that 2-nub laser. That's a Mark II. It fires 3 shots. That'll get through the shields all by itself. And it's got a drone. So it's going to get through my shields. This ship has enough firepower to take me down. That means I'm going to go ahead and do the old-fashioned approach of shooting once at the shield and then once at the weapon. Try to disable some of its firepower. See, its laser just got ion. That's great news for me. That means I'm taking less damage. Alright, let's go back to the shields. Keep those down. Now I'm watching this laser. Once the laser comes back up, that's when I target the weapons again. And then the laser goes away, so I go back to targeting the shields. And again, the laser just came back. I'm going to go ahead and target the weapons to bring it back down, and then go back to targeting the shields. Alright, quick point of note, when the slavers offer you a slave, don't always take it. You don't get any scrap for the fight if you take a crew member, but here I would like to have some extra crew members to deal with boarding parties and, you know, wacky events where someone might die or whatever. So I will go ahead and take their slave. It's a human, that kind of sucks. Think about where you want to post people. Posting someone in the medbay is really great because sometimes the enemy will actually teleport into the medbay and then run into your pilot and fight him. However, if you have someone posted in the medbay, then the enemy that's teleporting in will be forced to fight that person. And when they do, of course, they'll have a huge advantage fighting in the med bay. Alright, again, take a look at the weaponry. Here, again, they got that burst 2 laser, which fires 3 shots. So, I don't actually want this fight to drag out any more than it needs to. I really should have started ionizing its weapons a little bit earlier. I didn't need to take that shot. I was too busy talking and yakking. Anyway, it's fine. Taking 1 shot's no big deal. Looks like if the weapons got damaged. Alright, its laser is back. So I will target the weapons again to ionize it and pull it back down. I'm not taking any further damage in this fight. So your ability to fire so quickly and to selectively eliminate different parts of the enemy ship, most importantly its weapons, is why this is such a solid ship to play with. Now there is only 5 fuel left. I only had 3 going into that fight, so I might need to go to the store just to buy fuel, sad as that is. This is a good moment to illustrate why you want the beacon paths on. So you can see here, this is a dead end. Definitely don't want to go up to this distress signal, sexy as that is. Let's head towards the store, and sad as it is, get ready to buy some fuel. Okay. So these lasers can get through my shields. So, and he had 2 shields to start with, so the heavy laser couldn't get the job done by itself. So I'll go ahead, bring out my drone, and keep the shields down. So you might notice this ship had 2 shields, and it just totally doesn't matter. The Ion Blast takes care of them all by itself. The only counter to the Ion Blast's ability to take down shields is high evasion. Because if you keep missing your shots, then the ion charges run out. And that is how the enemy can sometimes beat you or stop you from pulling all its shields down. Alright, just having my Engi repair the sensors while the drone does its job. Good job, drone. Oh, rock plating resisted a shot there. And another shot! Oh my god. There we go. Alright, so there's a fire here. I'll just open the doors. We found 3 fuel in that fight, so I might not actually need to go to the store. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and risk it. Let's not go to the store. Let's just plunge ahead. Or should I go to the store? You know what? This is such a good run. There's no point in risking it on silliness. Let's just go to the store and buy fuel so that I don't have any problems later on. And I'm just going to get all the fuel here. Fix up a few spots. Alright, these are not great upgrades. So, turn the oxygen back on. Alright, we are ready to fly. That's a good thing to do sometimes, is just, you know, avoid unnecessary risks. Alright, he does have a missile launcher, so we'll turn the defense drone on. Alright, now my ion shots, notice how they're missing? This ship has pretty good evasion. Yeah, too many have missed for it to be simple luck. So it's got pretty good evasion, that's kind of unfortunate. But eventually you will get through. So just be patient. It's no biggie. And remember to switch to your defense drone. Alright, my attack drone just got blowed up, which is kind of unfortunate. And yeah, there's a fire, but who cares? Should be able to, Oh my god, he got blown up again. Wow, that's unlucky. So I'm losing a lot of drones in this fight. And yeah, let's go ahead and start putting out these fires, maybe. It's starting to get a little serious. Turn on the med bay when you play as this ship and you're putting out fires. Because it definitely helps to have your crew being healed as they burn in the flames for the cause of the Federation. Alright, 3 missiles. This is a pretty crappy bribe. I'm going to get more scrap than this if I blow the ship up, and I don't need missiles. So we're just going to go ahead and blow them up. I see we got 24 scrap instead of 17, and even got some fuel, which is what we want. So that's wonderful. Alright, let's just go ahead and fly forward. Well, this is actually kind of an interesting beacon. It's a little bit tricky at the end. I should have plotted out my course a little bit better. So let me jump down before I go back up and fly to the exit. Nothing. Okay. Is there a fire somewhere? I think I hear the sound of fire. Yes, there is a fire. Fancy that. Okay, let's put that out. Alright. And let's see, I'm about 40 scrap away from getting the next weapon, plus some power bars. So since we're going to need the power bar eventually anyway, I'll buy it now, so we can keep everything powered. I'm going to take this back way over, so let's go ahead and jump to that beacon. Oh, yay, another sun, and a boarding party. Alright, let's put everybody in here. When you fight invaders, your immediate impulse should always be to look at your medbay and make sure it is turned on. Because with this ship, obviously the Engi bot dispersal is a huge advantage in fights. It lets me take on these rockmen when normally that wouldn't be possible. But you have to make sure that you turn your medbay on. I'm going to bring my other Engi down in case I need to replace somebody. And that guy looks to be falling, so I'll just replace him. Send him over to the medbay. Alright, that takes care of that. Let's jump away before we get hit by another flare. Alright, do I need to jump up to the exit immediately, or can I stop by this beacon? I think I need to mosey on over. Okay, share with them the truths they've been denied. Okay, I think if I had, like, improved sensors, I could have done something there. Alright, let's make sure everyone goes back to their posts. So Turing can go to the weapons, Williams goes to the engines. Alright, so as I was saying, I like to post someone in the med bay to stop people from running past the med bay into the pilot. And I'll put the other Engi up by the drones so they can fix the drones should they get damaged. Let's jump up here. Alrighty, so again, let's take a look at their weaponry. Yeah, with this laser fires twice, and this one fires 3 times. So holy crap, this ship's got some firepower. Let's turn on our anti-ship drone. Oh, that was unfortunate. Gonna take some damage here. Let's point at the weapons. And see, here it didn't matter because our weapon system didn't get attached, but if the weapons had been attached, it would be very handy that my ion weapon would still be keep on trucking. And I'm gonna shoot at its weapons again to minimize the damage, hopefully. Alright, and with the weapons damaged a little bit, it looks like he's keeping his Mark II powered off. So I'll just keep it pointed at the shield and let the drone do its job. Alright, I think that is the end of that. Excellent. Rewards. Alright, do I have enough? No, not yet. Alright, can I jump to one more beacon? You know, always take a look and see if you can make that extra jump. Here I think there's clearly enough distance, so I'm going to jump up and then jump back to the exit. Fuel -2, drone parts 3. That's an interesting offer, but I think I'd rather not risk losing the fuel, so we'll keep on keeping on here. What's at the exit? Let's see. Alright, so when you get offered a bribe, you know, check the enemy ship out. Try to scope out how difficult it is, because you'll get more if you kill it. But if it's going to deal a lot of damage to you, the extra reward's not worth it. Now, you also want to read the text. An unidentified ship is being assaulted by a pirate, so this is actually a double reward quest where there's a chance the unidentified ship will be able to give you an extra reward if you kill off this pirate. And this ship's just got a halberd beam and a single laser. Now the halberd beam can make it through one shield, so with the laser it could get through my shields and do damage if it played intelligently. However, the computer just fires the weapon as soon as it's ready, and the cooldown of the laser is like 10 seconds, whereas the halberd beam is like 17 or something. So these weapons are out of sync, and they're not actually going to deal damage to me. So I'm going to go ahead and attack this pirate. As I mentioned before, I don't care about Zoltan's shields because the Torus is really quick at bringing those down. Yeah, I totally don't care about that stupid shield. Oh, that was a hard miss. See, now this beam weapon's going to fire and do absolutely nothing because the computer doesn't wait and fire a laser to bring one of your shields down first before firing the beam. When you get a more generous bribe, don't forget that this is, again, a double reward quest. There was that ship it was chasing, and that's why he's offering you a more generous bribe. It may look really tempting, like, wow, 4 fuel, 5 missiles, but I don't need missiles, and I'd rather take my chances, get more scrap for killing this ship, and possibly a secondary reward when we go rescue that civilian ship. So I'm going to ignore even the more generous bribe there. Notice again how the weapons are totally out of sync. That laser never fired in such a way as to allow the halberd beam to do damage. So you go to examine the ship you just saved. We got 23 scrap here, and we got some free repairs, and some nothing. Well, we got some free repairs, which is good enough at any rate. All right, let's go to the next sector, Zoltan controlled. Nice, happy green sector. So at this point, we have a choice. We can actually go ahead and get that third shield, or hold out and try to get the third weapon. Now what I'm going to do is actually just spring for that shield. I'm not sure if that's necessarily the best play, but the rewards for beating fights have increased now, so I'll get up to 125 scrap faster. And really the only limiting reagent is, you know, are these 8 drones going to be enough before I get this weapon online? And I think they will be. So let's hop downwards in the nebula, pick up those 2 nebula beacons before pulling out of it. Okay, look into its depths. Yeah, every time I do this I lose a crew member, so let's just go ahead and leave. Somebody can tell me in the comments if there's ever a good reward for that quest, because I've only ever lost a crew member from doing it. Participate in their study. Okay. So this is an interesting encounter. We've got a huge missile and some lasers. Now these lasers are not getting through the shields, so a defense drone will be ample for dealing with that missile. We'll go ahead and start battering down the shields with the ion blast. Now for the invaders, yeah, this is going to be difficult. We're going to need an all hands on deck here. I'll asphyxiate those guys a little bit because they happen to teleport into the perfect place, and let them lose some health from asphyxiation before we fight them. Alright, and I guess now let's go ahead and fight these guys that are trying to take my oxygen out. Again, always make sure that your med bay is on. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and depower the engine, because I really couldn't care less. And close the doors. Okay, how's this working? Is this working okay? Alright, that guy needs to go to the med bay. Let's bring that guy in as a reinforcement. That guy needs to go to the med bay and bring the other guys in as a reinforcement. I think that should take care of the invaders. Okay, so that's it for the invaders. Let's put everybody back in their posts. Carmody can pilot. Turing's already on the weapons. Williams on the shield, on the engine. Lana on the shields. Put my Engi on the drones. Okay, and now their shields are really good and down. Let's go ahead and power up. You know, I think I might actually be able to use my heavy laser. Let me try it out. I'm not actually 100% sure that the ionization will last long enough for the heavy laser to come online, but I was shooting at it for a really long time. Yeah, it fires faster than the ionization dies out, so if you just pound away at their shield with this ion blast, you can take out any number of shields and keep them down for a while. And you can see how this laser, dealing 4 damage a pop, really rips through their hull quickly. It's part of why I like this laser so much. If things go really south and you run out of drone parts or whatever, you can always just shoot at them with the ion blast for a while and then switch over to the laser while the shields are down. Alright, they got quite a lot of stuff. The defense drone Mark II, I talked about this before. Don't fall in for this. It's not as good as the Mark I. Just sell it. It's crap. Sometimes the fact that it shoots at lasers is actually a disadvantage rather than an advantage, because it'll use its time shooting at a laser and then miss the missile that comes in after the laser. It's just bad. Alright, nothing going on. Let's go pick up this other nebula and then fly forward. Fuel's a little low, it's a little bit dangerous, but I should find a store. We'll get a fuel dump at some point here. Okay, so let's check this ship out. So it's got a laser and that halberd beam. This is never getting through my defenses, so we can just be on our leisure here. I'll use the drone just for quickness sake. Now, ships with cloak are a little bit dangerous. It's nice to disable it if you get a chance, because if the ship cloaks, that gives it lots of time to get its shields back. So you can see it just got its shields back, because the cloak time is time that you are not firing at it. So once these shields go down, I'm going to take a little detour and ionize the cloak, just to hopefully make this battle go a little bit quicker and not lose the ionization on the shields. Alright, well, the cloak got shot down by my drone, so it's unfortunate now that I need to get the shields down again with the ion blast, but that shouldn't take too long. And so had I opted to get the heavy laser instead of getting a third shield, you know, these battles might be going quicker, but they'd also be a little bit more dangerous, because we're at around the halfway point now, and it's at this point where 2 shields kind of starts to not be enough. As the old saying goes, you should, before going on the attack, you should first put yourself beyond defeat. And that's a pretty good tip for faster than light. Alright, we got some scrap. We're about 30 scrap away from getting this heavy laser online. Then we'll be really cruising. We will need another power bar though, so I'll just go ahead and buy it now so we can keep more things powered up. Alright, there's a store. Do I want to go there? Not really. I don't need any weapons. I don't need any drones. I don't need any augmentations. I'm just going to go ahead and bypass that store, because again, any store you jump to is a place where you're not getting scrap and other rewards. Although maybe I should go there because I do need some fuel. Nuts. Alright, so let's take a look at this enemy ship. It's got a laser. It fires 3 shots. And then this laser fires 1 shot. I think this is the Mark II, and it fires 2 shots. So it's got, Jesus, 6 total laser shots coming at my shield. So this is going to hit me pretty hard. But let's go ahead and start taking their shields down. Alright, that is not a scary, boring party at all, but let's put my people over in the weapons room and get ready to intercept. Alright, lucky we've got some good misses from their weapons. I'm not going to count on any more luck and turn my target, my ion weapon, over to their weapons to stop them from firing. Got lucky again. That's nice. Okay. Now with the weapons good and ionized and only 5 hull bars left, I think my drone might be able to bring it home before... Oh, no. We're going to have to ionize the weapons a little bit more to stop those lasers from wrecking me. Wow, okay, this is a good surrender. 6 fuel really hits the spot. So now we don't have to waste time going to that store. We can jump right by it and keep on fighting battles and getting missions and stuff. Automated reloader. These do stack, so I got 2 of them. Totally fine. That means the heavy laser will fire even faster. Alright, now let's make sure we can jump around and come back to this exit. Shouldn't be a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that one doesn't touch the exit. So going down might be too far, but going to the nebulas might be too soon. Well, nothing for it. Let's just hit that distress signal and see what we can do. Alright, the rock crew member pays himself off. Generous reward. Alright, long-range scanners, they're nice, but I don't really need them. Let's just leave them to rot. Okay, we can finally get that heavy laser online. Hooray! At this point, we don't need to spend drones in a fight, although we can. If the fight is very difficult, we need some extra firepower. Now the question is, can I jump down and get to this exit in time? 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps. Or I could do 1, 2, 3 jumps. Aha, I think that might be better. Yes, I think I have room for that. Let's do that. Oh, I forgot to heal my people. Whoops. Should really have my medbay on. See if they're kind of dead from the previous fight. That's a little sad. Oh, they're in the medbay too. Okay. That's fabulous. Oh, and they blew my medbay up before I could fix it. Ah. Okay. So now, this is... Oh my gosh, this is going to be a pretty difficult fight now. Because I can't heal my people because I stupidly let my medbay get blown up. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut our losses and asphyxiate these bitches. I don't think I actually can kill them. So we're just going to have to asphyxiate them out. And yes, that will mean taking some damage to my systems. But better that than losing any crew members. So that was very foolish on me on several fronts. I should not have... I mean, my crew should have been healed because I should have had my medbay on after those last couple of fights. And I should have seen the people in the medbay and gone in there and started fighting before they were able to destroy the medbay. So that was very bad play on my part, and now I'm paying the consequences in the form of some completely and trivially avoidable hull damage. This is a good illustration of how good blast doors are. You just keep retreating into your ship. All you have to make sure of is that your oxygen is up and running. And you can just asphyxiate anyone else. So now I've opened things up from the other end. And hopefully I can actually kill them. Oh my god, can I still not kill them? Uh-oh, I might lose a crew member here. This is going to be close. Run! To the med bay! Oh god, that guy's gonna die. He's at 1 health. Wow. Alright. Let's go back to asphyxiating them. Oh my goodness. So you see how little mistakes can have huge consequences in this game? Dear God. Okay, they finally choked to death. So, to recap, I should have had my medbay on from that fight like 3 jumps ago, so my crew could have been healing in that intervening time. I also should have seen that there was someone in the medbay destroying it and moved in there. Then I could have fought in the medbay, trivially killed everyone. Instead, we had to do a whole run around the entire ship and take some completely unnecessary hull damage and almost lose crew members, which was all very sad. But anyway, life goes on. Fortunately, I didn't have to pay for my mistakes too much this time. Just a few points of hull damage and no crew members, thankfully. And let's put everybody back on their posts. So Cremedy goes to pilot, turning on the weapons. Williams on the shields. The Rockman, or Williams on the engine. The Rockman on the shields. The Engi and the drones. And see, if I'd had my guy posted on the med bay, that would have all been avoided. Silly, silly me. All right, yeah, we're gonna get to the exit just in time. Attack the slave of scum. Alright, so he's got 2 lasers from this left one and 3 from this one. That's annoying. So this is a boarding drone. He'll probably destroy my drones before I can kill his... Oh yeah, actually I can just shoot the boarding drone thing now. Ha! Punk. I probably should have shot down his weapons instead of his, instead of the drone system. I really didn't need to take that laser damage. Alright, let's shoot down the weapons now. And then we can go ahead and shoot down the drone again. Take one of our slaves. Yeah, let's take a slave. What the heck. Alright, so let's go ahead and send my extra people over to blow up this drone and repair that breach. Now, if I were playing, optimally, I'd wait for them to finish this cleanup before jumping ahead, but I'm impatient, so let's just go ahead and move along. Guy should be able to take care of it. And blast mark, that's really funny. Okay, so you don't need 2 of these when you play as the Torus. 1 is plenty good enough. These guys are dying. 1 is perfectly fine, but if you should happen to find an Ion Blast Mark II during one of your other games, I know it's a weapon that I overlooked a lot when I used to play, but just know this, it can take down any number of shields all by itself. So you can kind of play with a Torus-like strategy as any other ship, should you happen to be fortunate enough to find an Ion Blast Mark II in your travels. Alright, let's go to the Engi homeworlds because they're friendlier and they have cool events. And I'm sure we'll get an opportunity anyway to own some more ass with that heavy laser. I'm jumping more or less randomly. It would be nice to find a store and get some fuel. Alright, let's take a look here. We got 2 laser shots, but it's out of sync with the halberd beam here, so it's not going to do any damage, and this pike beam can't make it through any shields at all. So all we have to do is ion blast their shields, and then the laser will finish them off. Now we got some people knocking on my doors. Let's just asphyxiate them. I think they will start to run before they destroy this. Yep. See, if they're asphyxiating, they often won't even finish destroying whatever they're on before they run. Right now they're a little bit beaten down. I can send my people in, and with the help of the med bay, which is turned on, I will be able to finish those guys off. Or at least make them teleport back to their own ship. Yeah, there they go. Run, you little cowards. Alright, there go their weapons. Let's go ahead and shoot their pilot so that my future shots are more likely to hit. Boom, boom. This is a crappy surrender. 2 fuel. Eh, I might get even more than that just by blowing them up. And boom, boom. Alright, they're dead. See what we got? 35 scrap and 3 fuel. Oh, good thing I rejected that surrender. Let's get a power bar. And yeah, let's go ahead and start upgrading our engines here. This is cheap and useful. And everyone's healed up. I can pull the power bar off the med bay. Fabulous. Alright, the exit's a little bit tricky. I'll come in from this beacon. So we'll take our time back here where they're more clustered. Fuel -2. Yeah, it's not a good one. Want my fuel. Damn it. Alright, a fight. As always, take stock of their weaponry. So we got 3 lasers and then 2 lasers coming at us. Alright, let's move that guy out of the way a little bit. Turn the med bay on. And yeah, let's just send in the whole brigade to deal with these mantises. Alright, if you're feeling vindictive, you can shoot the teleporter to stop the mantises from coming back. But really all I want to do is stop their lasers from shooting at me more than necessary. So there goes the weapon system. Next, let's get rid of their pilot so that future shots are more likely to hit. After that, I guess we'll shoot their weapons again. Yeah, see, this laser, like I was talking before, it's not great against a ship that has shields, so that's why I used to disregard that weapon completely for a long time, but when you have their shields down, oh my goodness, is it a strong weapon. Okay, let's put people back at their posts. Humans in the med bay, why not? Let's get a power bar here so their oxygen can stay on. Let's take a look at the ship here. The anti-personnel drone, we've got enough crew members to fight people off, but I'm going to put it in the active spot because it does solve a few mini-events, or at least one. The alien spiders get taken care of very nicely by it. So I'll just have that there just in case, because there's no reason not to go for it. 1 mantis. Alright, we should be able to take care of 1 mantis. That's fine. Now, this is 6 laser shots coming at me all at the same time from these 2 Mark II lasers, which is kind of unfortunate. So I'm going to take my chances with the heavy laser and fire before their shields were down. 1 shot missed. That's unfortunate. Okay, let's open the doors to put out this fire. And send the humans to repair the doors. Okay, now the weapons come offline. Perfect. So, one of the obvious choices when you're playing with the Ion Blast is to use a beam weapon, because beams don't miss. But you can see it's kind of nice with the heavy laser to be able to deal 4 damage to a single system with 1 shot. That's just huge. Takes the weapons out much more easily. Alright, 47 scrap. That's a lot of scrap. Let's go ahead and think about things to get here. So, there's a couple options now. I mean, we can get another system bar in the drone control so we can have a defense drone active at the same time as an anti-ship drone. Don't really need that because the heavy laser is just fine. We could save up for the 4th shield, but that's going to be another while. So what I'm going to do is get the sensors and the med bay. It's nice to have that. Like, I'm not necessarily going to keep that second med bay powered, but in case anything hairy goes down, it is good to be able to heal your people up a little bit more quickly. And of course, both the sensors and the med bay open up some extra options in the events that come up. It's nice, by the way, to have the improved sensors. In case you have a bomb of some kind, then you can actually just, like, if they don't have a lot of crew members, you can just kill them with the bomb or fire your heavy lasers at them. Alright, my medbay is on. I don't know... Oh, he has a missile launcher! Wow, I should really have a defense drone going. Oops. Well, luckily the missile missed. Let's see if we can take out the missile with my heavy laser. I can. Hooray. See, if I had a bomb, I could bomb the medbay right now and kill off their whole crew. In fact, I still might be able to do that. Ooh. Wow, no more life signs. Yeah, so it's kind of nice to have the sensors. You can see that even without a bomb, I was able to kill off their crew and get a little bit more reward for killing the ship. Wow, this has been a lucky game. So first, in the very first beacon, we find a defense drone, and now we get an ion bomb. That is perfect. That is exactly what I want. This thing is a beauty. For a single power bar, it takes down 4 system bars, so it can take out 2 shields all by itself and pretty much any weapon or drone or whatever you want just for a single power bar. Granted, it's temporary, but if you've ever been playing against an enemy ship and got hit with an ion bomb, you know that 4 ion damage lasts a freaking long time. So once I get up to 90 scrap, I am going to buy that 7th weapon bar and get that ion bomb online, because it is really, really good, and it's very lucky that I found it. Okay, so do I need the store? Well, I've got a lot of repairs, a lot of fuel, no. So the mantra persists every time you jump to a store. That is a jump that you are not making to a place where you might have an event of some kind and get some scrap. So don't jump to stores unless there's definitely something that you actually want to buy at that store. I am being boarded by Engi. That's... well, now I've seen everything. Let's actually close off some of these doors, except for the ones with which I am asphyxiating them, of course, and start to shoot their shields down. Alright, let's... see, these weapons are not dangerous to me, so I'll try to kill their crew for a lark. Alright, so I can now get ready to kill those boarding guys. Yeah, they're dead. And okay, so 1 laser shot will kill off this guy up at the pilot zone. And then the ship has just enough hull to survive the 2nd heavy laser shot, which will kill off this Zoltan on the shield. Boom, boom, he dies. And I contact the research station. So that's why, you know, this has been, I hope, a nice illustration of why you want those advanced sensors, even if you're not teleporting. It's nice to see their ships so that you can kill the crew sometimes. Anti-ship drone Mark 1. This is a nice reward here. If you are fighting the final battle, it's actually kind of nice to put up 2 anti-ship drones. I don't really foresee needing that for the normal fights, though, that come up before the final battle, so we'll just leave that in my storage. And, wow, I got a lot of scrap, so let's spend it. Let's get that ion bomb online, and buy another power bar, because I know I'll need it. Okay. Great. Alright, I really should jump to a store at some point to sell off these things that are accumulating in my cargo bay, but I don't know if there's enough room to go to the store and that distress beacon after it. It's going to be close. I think I can do it. Let's take a risk. Alright, so sell off the 2nd ion blast, this crap-ass defense Mark II. I'll hold on to this anti-ship. I will hold on to it because it might be useful against the final boss. Again, teleporter, not really interested in it, don't really need it. And let's, fix up some hull just in case. And man, I really have plenty of fuel. I don't think I'll need to buy it. So, yeah, I think we can make it to that distress beacon. Yeah, just ahead of the fleet. Whew. Destroy and loot their ship. They're just pirates. Oh, no! Not today, punk. Alright, now there's a missile launcher, so I'm going to go ahead and remember to turn on my freaking defense drone this time. And, yeah, it's very lucky that they teleport up there. This makes it much easier to asphyxiate them. Note that when they break open a blast door, it will eventually, close shut, so you have to kind of keep an eye on it and close it. Yeah, there, it just closed, and you have to, sorry, keep an eye on it and open it. Oh yeah, now let's actually pay attention to the fight here, so it's... Wow, that was unfortunate. Okay, let's try that one more time. Boom, boom. Okay, we're just single boom. Boom, single tense. There we go. Oh, look at you, robot. All healing up in your med bay? Don't think so. Surrender is terrible. Nope. You die. I like to shoot at the enemy crew members, even if I'm blowing up the ship, just so that their last moments are of these giant lasers coming in to kill them. But I'm sure I'm a well-adjusted person. Alright, let's see what I need. Don't need any more drone parts. I'm fine with that. Let's just start powering up our engine. A little bit. Can I do one more? I think I can. Yeah, because I don't need these bars. Yep. The evasion, by the way, it might not seem that impressive. If you look off to the side, you only get 5 dodge or eventually only 3 dodge per upgrade. That makes a really huge difference in the long run, though. And it also helps to level up your engine and pilot guys, who are pretty close to leveled up. So that's a pretty good spot for our engines to be at. Now I'm just going to save up the 200 or so that I need on in order to get the the shields. Okay, this event, I can either side with the fugitive and fight the Engi or agree to offer up the Mantis. However, sometimes it's a trap and he'll damage your ship. And I don't need a Mantis. I don't really need a Mantis at all, in the slightest. I know a lot of you might be tempted to get a teleporter and use that against the final boss. It's really not necessary, so I'm just not even going to bother. Let's just give the sucker up. It was a trap. Aha! Well, ha. It was a trap, and I don't have to have my ship be damaged. Hooray! Alright, let's asphyxiate that stupid-ass Mantis. Alright. This is... Oh my god, this is a Defense Drone Mark II. Now, I know I've been kind of dissing them, but it is a pretty hard counter against an Ion Blast Mark I because it can shoot down every single blast I fire at it. Now, ordinarily, then, what you would do is you would just run away from this battle. However, since I have this handy Ion Bomb, let's go ahead and use that on their drone to disable it. And then we'll be able to shoot at the shield and start to use the heavy laser. Now, the first target for the heavy laser is going to be the drone system, because when the drones come back online, I don't want to have to repeat the process and waste my missiles. So we'll just shoot that down. Stop the Mantis from repairing it. See, with my high evasion, there's 5 lasers that can shoot at me, and they're really not scary in the slightest. So I will calmly ignore all of them. Alright, this is a funny moment, by the way. If you wanted to at this point, you could just sit and wait and see if that fire would spread to the rest of the ship. That is how you get the some people just want to watch ships burn achievement, or for having every square of an enemy ship on fire. You basically get to a point where the enemy crew has no med bay and they're too damaged to put the flames out, and you can wait and see if the fire spreads. Now, what usually happens is the fire just goes out by itself, or the ship dies from the fire blowing up the systems. But if you ever want to unlock that achievement, that's how you do it. Get a little bit of repairs, fly onto the Zoltan homeworlds. Which sector are we in? Sector 6. Okay. Do I have anything I need to sell at the store? Nope, so let's avoid the store so we can get more rewards. This is just such a smooth run at this point. Alright, we do need a defense drone against that huge missile launcher. Okay, now notice this thing right here that he's shooting at me, that is an Ion Blast Mark II. And if your evasion isn't good, or if it is good but you're unlucky, that will take down all your shields and make you vulnerable to that beam drone. So I'm going to keep an eye on my ions here. Notice how each time it hits my shield, the ion count increases, but if it misses, then it has time to recover. So he got me down to 1 shield before he ran out of steam and missed too much. Sucks to be him. I think I'll be able to, yeah, get my shields back and then take out his ions. So I win the ion war. Haha! Alright, this battle's over. Boom, boom. Bunch of scrap. Hooray. So we're just saving up another 100 to get that 4th shield. Let's take a look at the exit. Oh yeah, there's a nice ring of nodes to go to, so we can take our time. Blah. Let's pop into the nebula for a bit. Still don't want to look into the frickin' great eye. Let's pop out for a second. Communicator message. This is kind of a silly quest. Blah 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 blah. Alright, this is going to be... I can't go out of here without making a wasted jump. So whatever, we'll just ignore it and go to the distress signal. I think this is the second time this has happened. That's unfortunate. So the drone recovery arm is kind of neat because it lets you basically use drones indefinitely. I think I will replace one of the automated loaders with it and get drone happy. So to do that I'll need some more power bars and an extra drone bit. And let's put that anti-ship drone back on. So if you haven't played with this thing before, it lets you, as long as the drone doesn't get blown up during the fight, you don't spend the drone part for playing it. You get the drone part back at the end of the battle. So now I'll be able to, use both of these anti-ship Mark 1s in every battle and not lose the drone parts, basically. Invite him to join your crew. Hooray! It's another Rockman. Okay. Let's see. Still don't want that store. I've got everything I need. Now let's go ahead and pick up these final beacons around the edge. Okay, so this is kind of a weird event where if you submit to profiling, nothing happens, and the nice people just check you out and let you move on your way. But I want to fight because I want to win some scrap, so let's go ahead and start making use of the drone recovery arm. That really is a very lucky thing to find when you play as this ship, because it lets you go nuts, especially if you have more than one offensive drone. Alright, let's keep an eye on our shields. They are decreasing. Oh man, we're going to start to take some damage soon. Yeah, let's try to shoot their drones down. Nope. Oh, that's a little scary. Okay, I'm going to ion bomb their drone system, because a missile is a fair price to pay for peace of mind and not taking any more damage in this crazy fight. I guess one of my drones got blown up at some point. That happens more often than you would think. Firebomb. Alright. Let's pop into the nebula. Ugh, hate these. Alright, so fighting in an ion storm is annoying, but yeah, let's go ahead and secure the fuel supply. When you fight in these ion storms, look to see what the enemy ship is doing about the loss of power. So this one seems to have depowered its laser, and it's got just a couple of beams. Now this big beam won't make it through 2 shields, it can only power through 1. So what I'll do is I'll just power up 2 shields, let's keep my oxygen online, and ion blast my way into victory. Oh hey, it is actually using his laser, interesting. Alright, there in my oxygen. Okay, so let's depower the oxygen, power up the med bay, because you always want your med bay powered up when you're fighting. And now shoot down his weapons. There we go. That was nice. Okay, its weapons are down. Alright, everything is all tied up. We can go ahead and turn the oxygen on. Oh, you're powering up your FTL? Too bad you suck. Yeah, this event is weird. It's like, secure the fuel supply, and then you get 2 fuel. That's great. I guess maybe you get better rewards from that if you have a teleporter and can take the ship intact. But screw that with the Torus. Let's keep on going. Oh my god. Okay, more fighting. Alright, let's bring our people over here. I'm gonna send the Rockman to help out my poor pilot, which is maybe stupid because he takes the slowest to get there. Yeah, let's put my Rockman to help the medbay, and then the guy to help the pilot. There we go. That makes a lot more sense. And let's bring my human over because this Engi will look like he needs a replacement here. Okay. Alright, there we go. I think that's all taken care of. So this is how boarding parties go with the Torus when you're not a freaking idiot. Nice and simple. Nothing to it. Okay. Bada boom. Bada done. Let's put my guy back on the engine. Oh, I need to put my pilot back on the pilot. My expert shielding Rockman can go back up there. That's great. Okay. Still could use another power bar. Always so power hungry when I play this game. Every time I say power bar, it makes me think of one of those protein granola bars. Okay, let's see what we have here. That's 3 laser shots with the beam. Oh, I don't know if those are in sync enough or not to actually do damage at the right time, but I think my heavy laser will come online before the halberd beam does, so it'll be a moot point. Oh no, I shot the wrong thing. Oops. I shot the shields instead of shooting the weapons. Well, I guess we're about to find out if they're in sync or not. No, they were not. This laser fired just a bit too early before the halberd beam. And now that's done. Sucks to be all of you people. Boom, boom. I'll kill that stupid mantis. Friggin' mantises. 128. No, I'm gonna get more for killing the ship. Note that I've been refusing a lot of these surrenders. That's not to suggest that surrendering is always a bad option. You generally get more scrap if you blow up the ship, but sometimes, like, the stuff that you get, if you're using missiles or if you need fuel, is really handy and worth not getting a higher scrap reward for. Also, sometimes if you're not as pimped out as my ship currently is, you will be able to avoid damage from the fight. You can see I'm not really taking any damage from the fighting because things are going so swimmingly. But if you are in a tight battle and you'll have to take more damage in order to finish off the ship, it's worth it to surrender just to avoid that extra damage. Ooh, lucky that one of those missed. So this is a beam that does not go through any shields at all. So he's got 3 lasers that fire at the same time, but with my evasion I'm confident at least one of those will miss. So no need to use up a missile or anything. Let's just shoot those weapons down. Alright, now, I'm sorry, but the slaves are going to have to die aboard the ship. I don't need any more people. So I want the scrap reward for blowing this puppy up. So this is, I'm really just a wrecking ball powerhouse at this point. As a quick note, in case your playthroughs aren't so ridiculously lucky as mine, if I had just the drone recovery arm and a couple of drones, or just the Ion Blast with the Heavy Laser Mark II, that would be fine. That would be sufficient to be doing well. Having both of those things is just stupid-diculous, I believe would be the technical term, and that's why this is going so well. Let's go ahead and get that final shield. I'll depower it if the battle looks like I can just speed it up by putting out an extra drone, but Nothing wrong with having that 4th shield there. Again, do I need this store? Like, it'd be nice to sell the firebomb and the anti-personal thing. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I'm not sure I'll see another store before the end, so I'll take this opportunity to sell that stuff off. Okay, and there's the drone recovery arm. This is a good purchase. A really, really good purchase when you're playing as the Torus, because it lets you use the offensive drone in every single fight. Well, let's get rid of the firebomb. Let's get rid of the anti-personal thing. Don't go too crazy buying fuel in the last sector, because you're going to get 10 fuel when you start the next one. So again, when you're in the second to last sector, don't go crazy buying fuel, because you're about to get 10 free fuel. And really, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get some fuel at some point, and this 6 fuel is enough. But just to not take any chances, let's get some fuel here. In case something really bizarrely improbable happens. Just to not ruin a perfectly good run. By the way, if you've never done it, running out of fuel is kind of fun. You get like special wacky things that happen. So do it if you've never done it before. Try it sometime. It's kind of neat. All right. So again, Ion Blast is just on permanent lockdown on their shields. I got my drones out because the drone recovery arm will give me the drone parts back, and their weapons are not getting through my 4 shields. So let's just wait a little bit. Alright, fire at their pilot to stop it from evading me. Oh, and now his ship just gets wrecking balled. Alright, that's that. Let's keep on going. I'm honestly not sure how much more commentary I'm going to be doing, since this particular playthrough turned out to be so ridiculously strong. Put up a defense against the missile. Put up an anti-ship because I have the repair drone, so why not? And I have 25 missiles, so I really could be using the ion bomb just to speed these fights up a little bit. But honestly, the shields are already down. I don't know that it saves that much time. Oh no, my drones are on fire. Okay, that was my defense drone that got taken out. So I want to make sure that stays powered, and I'm going to bring up another couple of guys to hopefully put out this fire before the other power bar gets removed. Yeah, there it goes. Alright, is my defense drone on? Yes. Good. Okay, now we don't need it anymore. Let's depower it. Let's power up the med bay to heal my people up. Alright, so this is a really, really good surrender if you cared about missiles. I don't, so I'm just going to go ahead and blow up their ship. Note that, again, if your ship weren't so ridiculously strong, that would have been a really good surrender to take, if only to get out of this sun system a little bit sooner. So because I didn't take the surrender, I might need to take another solar flare to the face. Let's see if I get lucky and avoid it. Alright, no solar flare, hooray. Alright, no missiles. Oh, these weapons are not getting through at all. Let's put out my anti-ship drones and get ready to blow this thing up. Oh, it's a defense mark 2. It is shooting at my ion shots. How irritating. Okay, so thankfully we have the ion bomb, which allows us to win the fight. By ion bombing that drone system, we can now take out their shields. This ship has pretty good evasion. You can see a lot of my shots are missing, and it's taking a really long time. I'm just going to go ahead and ion bomb the pilot. Except it missed. Yeah, the defense drone is back online, so I'm going to need to ion bomb the drone system one more time. How annoying. Alright, let's hope that doesn't miss. Hits. Great. I really could probably sneak a heavy laser shot in there somewhere. Oh, they just both missed. Okay, now it's heavy laser the pilot. Alright, there. That turns off his evasion. So now it should all be hitting. Powering up its FTL, you say? No, I don't want any more slaves. And then my drones finish the job. Alright, 74 scrap, not bad, not bad. Alright, we're getting to the point where there's nothing much more to do with the scrap, so let's go ahead and pick up a power bar, and also get oxygen. The oxygen level 2 is kind of like a makeshift power bar, because it lets you use up your oxygen, like turn the power off the oxygen, and then get it back really quickly by putting 2 power bars into it later. So getting 2 in the oxygen is nice, and really the only thing that matters now is evasion, so let's just pump up the engine. And, yeah, we're going to be good to go here. It'd be nice if I could if I had been able to pick up some Zoltan crew members, so that I'd have some extra power. But it's not the end of the world that I don't have them. I'll just have to do a little bit more power juggling. Attempt to follow them. Alright. This is a Mark II, so he does some pretty good shield damage, but these 3 lasers and the beam are not super scary. Alright, let's, just to speed things up, ion down his shields, or not. Okay, let's shoot down the drone. Because the weapons are not scary. Now let's shoot down the pilot so that everything hits. And just for laughs, let's keep that drone system good and down. 4 missiles, don't care about missiles. Oh, I pressed 1 by accident. Whoops, whatever. I don't really need scrap at this point, so I guess just ending the fights more quickly is fine also. Let's check out that distress signal. Stuff. I guess if I wanted to, I could go to the nebula to maximize the number of jumps, but this ship is already as good as it'll get. There's a Zoltan crew member here just for convenience. I'm going to knock out one of my lame humans and put the Zoltan in his place just to get some extra power for convenience sake. Pretty much always going to want power on my weapons and shields, so I'll just put him in the weapons. Alright, 60 more scrap and I can max out my engines, which is a little bit easier to do now with that extra power bar. And I'm going to get to the exit a little bit early. If you're playing for score, you know, always jump to as many beacons as possible. But here, just to keep my playthrough as brief as possible, let's go ahead and start wrapping things up. Because this ship is already plenty powerful, enough to take out the final boss, and I'm eager to show you how that is done. Torus style. Alright, he does have this Ion Blast Mark II, which is going to take out my shields, potentially. So, let's just go ahead and shoot at his weapons to try to bring that down. It stays up, unfortunately. And I'm going to Ion the Cloak to speed this fight up a little bit, just so he doesn't cloak anymore. Alright, 1 missile got through, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is also okay, because it was just 3 damage. And so now, see, I can put 2 bars in the oxygen, and it fills up super fast. So it makes it a little bit easier to depower your oxygen for extra power when you need it, to have that oxygen upgraded. Alright, let's do it. I really don't need to do this, but I can't resist protecting the poor defenseless outpost. Let's get the defense drone, because he does have a missile. He seems to have pretty good evasion as well. A lot of my shots are missing. So ionizing the pilot or the shield might not be a bad play. Now let's go ahead and ion the pilot. What happened to my ion bomb? I don't quite understand. Whatever. That hit. So now let's hit the pilot with my lasers. And that will soon be that. Alright, lots of stuff. Okay, so we got a bunch of scrap and pretty much nothing to spend it on. Let's get that final engine, power it up. So yeah, you can see it's kind of hard to power up the engine, the shields, the weapons, and drones, but by pulling some things off the med bay, the oxygen, and one of the engine bars, I'll be able to do that if I need to. Let's go ahead and go to the last stand. So I know I've said this before, but you know, if you're playing for points, then try to jump to as many of these beacons as possible. I just want to get to that last, to the Rebel flagship as soon as I humanly can. So I'm ready to take it on, and we'll just make a beeline for it. And I'll avoid this fight, because again, I don't really care about the score. Let's wrap this puppy up. Alright, that repair station would give me free repairs, missiles, fuel, and drone parts, but as you can see, I've got plenty of all those. So let's just keep on trucking. Where's it going? It's going there. Alright, so let's try to meet it in that downward region. Bloopity blue. Alright. Let's put a defense drone out. Let's have my guys fight his guys. Rockman's probably better for that. Now this is a Mark IV laser. It'll fire 5 shots, but with my 55 evasion, I'm not at all scared. And my 4 shields, most of those are going to miss. So you can see absolutely nothing happened. Alright, his guys teleport away. Let's ion down the rest of these shields so my heavy laser can get to work. I'm just shooting down the pilot so that this goes as quickly as possible. Okay, let's see. I'll just take out the med bay and the ion bombs. I don't need that anymore. And put the anti-ship out there to wrap this up even quicker. Let's shoot the poor people in the med bay. Haha. Die. Okay. That is that. Alright, let's refill the oxygen and jump onwards. Alright, more fighting. Oh, is that another defense drone Mark II? Yes, it is! It's shooting my lasers down. Alright, so we're going to need the ion bomb, as before, to take out the drones. I love when the enemy ships plant bombs on totally random empty spaces of my ship. That's always the greatest. This ship seemed to have pretty good evasion as well, or maybe not. Let's see. Alright, let's shoot down the drones. Oh no, his drone came back online. Alright, I'm gonna need to ion it. The ion missed. Oh, Jesus. Alright, hopefully one of my 2 heavy laser shots will get through to it. Oh, it missed. Alright, this is gonna take a little while here. Let's ion. Oh, his shields are back now. Okay. Guess let's see if these people are doing nothing. They can go fix the med bay. See if we can ion his shields. Yep, and heavy laser the drones. There we go. That's good. That should stick. Let's heavy laser the pilot next, so that my shots hit more often. Good. Alright, and we can fix the doors now. Ah, there we go. This is finally going to be the end, I think. There's a lot of fire. Hey, look at you, man. Look at you standing on the shields. You will die, and then your ship will explode in flames around you. Alright, that was totally pointless. Let's see, is there anything else to upgrade? Well, the final stage of the boss does do teleporting, so the final blast door upgrade is nice. And, yeah, nothing else really matters. I could, of course, get more drones, but I don't have enough power to use them all anyway, so that's pretty pointless. Let's just get piloting up, so that if stray lasers hit the pilot, I don't suddenly lose all of my evasion. And more oxygen, because pimps upgrade oxygen, as my grandfather always used to say. Okay, so he's jumping up here. We should be able to catch it before he jumps away from that location. Oh, horses. All right, let's. Nope. Okay, that's good. Glad we did that. Okay, so he's there. All right, let's fight the rebel flagship finally. Okay, so no teleporter, no cloak, no frills, just good old-fashioned beatdown. The flagship seems to have pretty bad evasion, which makes sense because it is a giant-ass ship. So your ion blasts will hit its shields pretty reliably, and then you'll be able to use your anti-ships and your defense drones to bring it down the rest of the way. Let's put out a defense drone to stop some of these missiles from hitting. Let's repair the med bay. We can ion down the rest of his shields, and now use the heavy laser to start shooting some of the weapons down. I like to start by shooting out his missiles, because those are obviously a pain. And the ion bomb will take out a single weapon system all by itself with its mighty 4 ion damage. So with that, since one of my lasers missed the missiles, but the missiles just fired, I don't really need to use it. Let's go ahead and ion out the beam weapon that he's got. Alright, the beam's done. That missile is still alive. Oh, hey, there's a fire in my engine room. Whoops. Let's put that out, I suppose. With my fire-immune rockmen, let's turn on the med bay. Okay. Let's ion out his ion weapons. The cloak is another tempting target to shoot out, just to make the battle last a little bit less. Okay, so it's heavy laser. Yeah, let's just heavy laser the stupid cloak. So that'll be the last of that. It is handy to kill the people that are manning the weapons, though, because that way, in the next stage, you can just shoot the weapons one time and not worry about them getting repaired. Alright, I'll iron out the shields. Oh, the mist. Alright, well, the cloakroom is on fire and he's doing nothing about it, which is a-okay by me. Once the shields are down, let's get to work on these other weapons. So let's kill that guy. Unfortunately, I'm going to actually destroy his ship before I can kill everyone, so focus on the person on the missiles and on the lasers here, because those are the ones that don't fall off as you destroy the ship in its individual stages. After the first stage, this ion guy will just fall off, and after the second stage, the beam guy will fall off. So you want these two guys to die for sure. Alright, I didn't even need my drones, but if I had power to spare, I could have used them to speed up this battle. That was pretty easy. Notice, by the way, if you've been playing it where you feel like you have to have the teleporter to, teleport the guy over and, kill the person manning one weapon and all this stuff, you don't actually need that. That's not necessary. If you have good enough weapons and good enough shields and evasion, you really don't even need to deal with any of the teleporting stuff. Alright, let's give chase. In the second stage, always remember to put on a defense drone, because otherwise he sends over a boarding drone, and that is a huge old pain in the ass. So we want to shoot those down. Of course, my defense drone missed the boarding drone. Okay, so let's send a rockman over, I guess, and a human to take care of that. It's quite irritating. Alright, and let's ion out the missiles. Let's ion out the shields, and then just heavy laser the missiles. Alright, the missiles are down, and there's no guy to repair them, so suck that, guy who isn't there. Alright, next let's heavy laser out his lasers. Oh, I missed. How sad. Let's ion out the beam, because why not? Oh, someone dying? Oh my monkey Jesus. Okay, let's turn the oxygen on. Don't die, Charlie. Okay. Don't die either, other person. I don't care about that much. Alright. So let's see. Let's heavy laser. Let's finish heavy lasering out his lasers. By the way, you might notice a power surge just happened and I totally didn't care. That's because when you have maximum shields and a high evasion, it doesn't have to even be maxed out necessarily. It just really doesn't make any difference. Those drones can do all they want. When you're ducking 55% of the shots and have 4 shields, you're fine. Okay, well, let's see. I think we're good to go here. Let's just put up our anti-ship drones and get ready to blast this guy out of here. Okay, that was great. Quick reminder, a good target for your ion bombs is the pilot, because that is a way to decrease all of his evasion down to 0 and then make sure that all your remaining stuff hits. Now before going to the final boss, I am going to take care of this little bit of cleanup on my ship. It's really annoying. Did he send a second drone over? I was certain I had killed the first one. I guess maybe he sent a second one over and it landed in the exact same spot. What are the odds? Okay, let's wrap this up. Just because in the final stage there are boarding parties, and so it's very annoying to have this crap to deal with. Alright, Robot Man, come on over and help me patch up this breach. Teldarin has no particular skills. Great. Elena is my shield user. We can go back to the shields. Rock Woman. Alright, we're ready to go. Let's see here. Power up my engines. Okay, we're ready to go. Alright, for the final boss, let's turn on my anti-ship drones to bring down that big shield he has, good and quick. This ship is just great for the final boss because the Ion Blast 2 is so good at killing the outer shield. Missiles are coming. Let's stop some of them with the defense drone, then put my anti-ships back on. I want this just to be as quick as possible. Boom, go his shields. Alright, there we go. He's totally out of shields. I'm just going to go ahead and heavy laser his pilot so that my drones hit as often as possible. Whatever, I don't care if he hits me with stuff. That is just fine. It doesn't matter anymore because he is so screwed. He is so screwed, I hurt for him. Yeah, whatever. Missiles. Alright, he's dead. So that's what you do with the Engi Cruiser A. The Ion Blast takes care of all of the shields. You get some other weapon like a beam or the heavy laser and an ion bomb. If you happen to get some offensive drones, that's just gravy, but then you can bring his shields down really quickly and pound him into oblivion. Because you can see, not a high-scoring game, but if you care about the score, just, always go to the nebula sectors, always jump to as many beacons as possible. I got kind of lazy at the end there. Let's take a look at the stats. Nothing particularly remarkable. So that will be that. Thank you so much for watching this very long playthrough. I hope that you enjoyed my run through the game with the Torus, and that it has taught you some cool new things that you can use in your own games to have even more fun with this little gem of a game, FTL. Till next time.